This is a great bill to repeal a terrible bill. That's what's happening here. If you're following along at home, the bill did two things. The first one should have just been common sense. Someone rings up and says, hey, I don't understand how to fill in this passport form. Oh, well, I can help you with that. Problem solved. But instead what they did is said, let's create some more of the extra 18,400 bureaucrats that they created. I appreciate it's hard to find the word in Te Reo Māori because it's actually an invention of the Labour Party. That's what bureaucrats are. But what they did is create these plain language officers in Clause 11 of the bill, plain language officers that would have to deal with these problems, and then they would report up through layers of the agency to the chief executive, and the chief executives would report to the commissioner, and the commissioner would report to the minister. All these layers of bureaucracy created to solve a problem that wasn't really there. And it wasn't just that, because this is what Rachel Boyack in her first reading wanted the bill to do. It wanted these new plain language officers that would be created both inside and outside agencies. In other words, new people. Hire some new people, please. We've only got an extra 18,000 so far. We can do better. To do things like training agency employees, to deal with complaints, to manage requests from the public, and on it goes. In fact, the Greens called it a really cute, fluffy bill. It was all fluff. That's all it was. It was nothing but fluff. It's probably more like a fur ball, to be honest, because that's what it looks like it came from. I love it. I read some of the speeches that people wrote. This is what Rachel Boyack said. That's part of the role of plain language. That's part of the role of plain language is actually, like that sentence I read before, any sentence that's longer than 20 words is actually considered under plain language rules as being too long. What she's saying is you can't have a sentence in any document that's longer than 20 words. The problem is her sentence to explain it took 34 words. You think that's bad? Wait till you get to Nazy Chan's speech, 102 words. I don't have time to read out two of her sentences alone, hit 200 words. So let's go down to Glenn Bennett. He's only at 40 words. He's only at 40 words was Glenn Bennett, so only double the allowable length. Goes on about wonderful, wonderful huge spoons with in your mouth, under your tongue, that he's talking about. Finishes by, be not afraid because you can still continue with your large and big words. I mean, this is the grasp of the English language. Then on the other side, maybe we do need to think about this legislation again. I mean, the bitter irony of this must weigh heavier on the Labour Party than a full volume of Roger's Thesaurus. I mean, honestly, this stuff is terrible. We heard that there were a couple of people that supported it. They left out people like the Law Society that opposed it. But Camilla Bellich finished by saying, you know, what are the other ideas of the government? Despite the fact that they were willing to set aside a lot of time in select committees in the House to push this legislation that wasn't needed through, I'll give you some better ideas. Here's one, the Modern Slavery Reporting Bill. That was in the ballot at the time in 2022, and the House could have spent its time on that, but no, we did plain language officers. It could have been changes to the New Zealand Public Health and Disability Bill through things like bringing back national health targets or a 3-day postnatal stay. But no, Labor had better ideas. Let's bring about plain language officers and create some more people. What about parental leave and employment protection? Shared leave amendment bill under Nicola Willis's name. That was great. What about life jackets for children and young persons? Repealing the regional fuel tax, gang-free ports, enabling restricted drivers to get to work. And I could go on, but this is about this bill, because that's what this bill was brought in against. All of those bills that could have been picked up, that could have spent time going through the House, but the House's time was consumed with a rubbish bill that we don't need. It was a furball, it was fluff, it was not required. They couldn't even stick to their own rules in speaking about it at the time, and that's why we are pleased to pass this bill now, which removes it. I commend our bill to the House.
Does he not understand how bills getting pulled out the biscuit tin work?
No,
he doesn't. Using 4 words, checkmate, Labour.
I mean, put it this way, for a guy who has been on the public tit all his life until he became an MP, because remember, he's Wing Commander Tim Costley. Wing Commander is a military rank. It is your 5 ranks from the bottom on the officer class of the Air Force rank scales.
I don't know, can you use plain language? I didn't understand that.
Can you just say fluff a lot? Because that's all I'm getting is
the last officer rank in the Air Force is pilot officer. The second lowest rank in the Air Force is flying officer. The third lowest rank in the Air Force for an officer is flight lieutenant.
There you go.
The fourth lowest rank in the Air Force for an officer is squadron leader. The fifth lowest rank in the Air Force is wing commander for an officer.
And this is the thing, he's chucking around disability rights and legislation for disability when he knows damn well that he's never seen disability or stuck up for them being front. He sees them as a liability, but yet he's chucking it in people that actually do deserve that sort of help and support that they don't receive today, but chucking that in again. Poverty comes from the lack of opportunities. Yeah. And he's raised some of those minority groups, how they're treated as liabilities here in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
For Soraya about the planes, yes, they do have planes. My dad was contracted to service the Red Checkers. Ironically, my father has had dealings with Tim Costley when Dad was working at Ohakia.
Well, I hope those flight manuals were in plain language.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure about the servicing manuals. I mean, I will be honest on this. There is a bit of a difference when it comes to servicing planes you don't have your planes based on air mileage you travelled. It's based on hours of running. Whereas a car, you base it on kilometres, or if your car's that old in the day where, what do you call it, it's a black number plate, and it might have seatbelts in the front seat, but it didn't have to have seatbelts in the back seat because it was before 1974, odometer might measure miles.
Can someone just explain to me what furball is and this fluffy furball? Because I couldn't really understand what he was meaning by that. Like,
a furball is what your cat coughs up. I don't have a cat here for demonstration. He's gone, but yes.
But yeah, again, I don't understand. Like, I feel like then they're like, you have this and I'll chuck it some big words for you. So people don't really understand what we're saying because we don't give them opportunities. So let's just be like, hear you, I've got this cool speech. And then as soon as I say it, I'm out again. Like,
yeah. Oh.
Tell me you don't have accountability by showing me you don't have accountability.
Yeah.